Hello class. Today we are going to discuss the binomial theorem, mathematical tools that are the basic parts for the +1 physics. For doing the derivations we need some basic mathematical tools. Let's go through them. First is binomial theorem. Binomial theorem. This is the part of mathematics. In mathematics you use this binomial theorem for the various derivations, but in physics we use the binomial theorem for an index, that is 1 plus x power n. 1 plus nx n minus 1 2 factorial x square or n minus 1 n minus 2 3 factorial x cube and so on. But in physics we again neglect the higher terms and we use only 1 plus xn is 1 plus nx, 1 minus xn is 1 minus nx, 1 plus x minus n is 1 minus nx, and we neglect the all higher terms in the physics form. This factorial means 2 factorial can be written like this, 5 factorial can be written like this, and this may be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And to explain this, but we don't need this, we just only remember this term to use in a physics, and we use it so many times to derive the relations and to simplify our equations. 1 plus xn plus minus power again plus minus nx. So we use only this form of binomial theorem. And the next, the new form that you have learned, you have to do in a +2 class, okay? That is called the differentiation. Differentiation derivative. It's a very important term for the mathematics. In physics we have the terms like when we describe the motion, when we describe the motion of the body, we need some physical quantities. Physical quantities which can be derived directly or indirectly, and which are used to describe the laws of physics. They are called the physical quantities. And to describe the motion, we need displacement, we need velocity, we need acceleration. Now these terms, say the displacement x, velocity v, acceleration a. And in mathematical form, in this calculus form, this velocity is a derivative of distance with the time. This acceleration is a derivative of velocity with the time. So to describe the motion, to describe the many equations, we know the meaning of derivative, differential coefficients. We have some formulas, we remember that formulas, and we find how we use that formulas to specify these equations. So you must remember the formula for the differential equations or this derivatives. The formula that I have given to you in the notes, the formulas are that you have to remember that terms. First is y is equal to constant, या तो y function of x है, तो जिस चीज का फंक्शन होएगा, when we change the value of x, there is always change in the value of y. That we have to write. Before to do this, let's do the general concept. That is, y is the function of x. Means when there is a small change in x, we have the change in y. If we have a small change, that is delta x. This term is denoted as delta, very small change. That is called delta. Then there is also a small change in this y. Then y, delta y minus y, x plus delta x minus fx. It cancel, but it is not cancel because it is in the form of function. Then delta y is f x plus delta x minus fx, and we divide the both sides with this small change. Now here is a one term. This delta x is very small, approaches to 0 but not 0. This is the limit. Limit, continuity functions, they are again the part of mathematics. Limit delta y upon delta x. See this term very carefully. We use this term again and again in the physics when we derive the various relations. When we give the limit to delta x form, this thing, the whole term is denoted as dy upon dx, derivative of y with respect to x. And these terms, these are the various terms, अलग-अलग relations ने जेडे तनु formula or theorem दी form च मिलणगे. Means the derivative of y with respect to x under the different conditions is equal to the different terms. So this thing you have to remember very sharply, that when we give the limit delta x form in this form, it is always written as dy upon dx. Now we come to the different formulas. First formula is the first one. Y is equal to constant, which is not the function of any terms. So the derivative of y with respect to x of constant is always 0. So constant कुछ भी हो सकता, 3, 4, 5 नंबर जिदे विच x नहीं होगा, जड़ा x दा फंक्शन नहीं होगा, that is called the constant. And the derivative of constant is always 0. Whatever be the constant, its derivative is always 0. Now the second, this is the basic formula for differentiation, x the power n. Then when we differentiate it, dy upon dx, this is the formula, and you have to remember this formula, nx n minus 1, nx n minus 1. This is the derivative. For example, we have y is equal to x power 4. How we differentiate it? Dy upon dx means 4x 4 minus 1, 4x cube. We again differentiate this. This is also the again term 4x cube. Then 4 is a constant, but it multiply with x cube. This is not a single constant like this. इधर तो नाल coefficient भी है. Then how we differentiate it? Dy dx 4 derivative of x cube, or on x cube you again apply this xn formula, so it become 3x 3 minus 1, that is the 12x square. This is the derivative. This is the use of this formula xn, and this one is the use of this one cu. If you have this constant in bar rakh ke, then you differentiate the term. That is the third formula. Y is equal to cu, that is derivative of u with respect to x, where u must be the function of x. Now we have the three more terms. Very important. Y is equal to uv, product of two factors which are again the function of x. So how we differentiate it? Dy upon dx is first derivative of second plus second derivative of first. मतलब पहली टर्म ਨੂੰ ਉਸੇ तरह लिख के second the derivative plus second first the derivative. Its example let me do the later. Y is equal to this one. Y is equal to u upon v या v upon u. This is called numerator and this is called denominator. Okay. Then how we do this? Dy upon dx is numerator, denominator. For this differentiation, first u denominator derivative of numerator minus v derivative of denominator and square, u square. Last जो denominator है उदा square कर देना. So remember this. How to differentiate product terms? First derivative of second plus second derivative of first. How to differentiate quotient terms, division terms? This is called numerator, denominator. So numerator, first you differentiate the numerator. डिनोमीनेटर ਨੂੰ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਇਹਦਾ डिफरेंशिएशन करना माइनस ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ नीचे वाले ਦੀ डिफरेंशिएशन करनी है और यूज केयर एंड हाउ द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस डिफरेंशिएशन अगेन वी यूज दीज रूल्स for constant it is 0 if there is a term like x the power n then you do this n x n minus 1 if this term is not a single x term this term is may be considered as a un power. Un means this is the function of x but not the linear function. थोड़ा जा complicated function है. The y is equal to u the power n. Then how we differentiate? dy upon dx nu n minus 1 derivative of u again. ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਸੀ? xn nx n minus 1. That's sufficient. But here u is again a function of x, but it is not like the linear function like x square, x cube, x5. This is in a complicated form. Then how you differentiate it? First you differentiate the power n. इन्हें उसी तरह लिखना n minus 1 derivative of u. Okay जी? So these formulas, they are very important formulas to differentiate the terms. This is called product rule, this is called division rule, and this is the general form xn, and this is the un derivative of this. And one more, if the term is plus minus so many terms, then how you differentiate? You differentiate single du by dx plus minus dv by dx plus minus d dx single form ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨੂੰ differentiate ਕਰਨਾ. Okay, so have a look for some questions. Okay, so the first if we have the question y is equal to, let's say 4x cube 7x square 9x plus 6. You have to differentiate it. So dy upon dx, first derivative of x cube plus 7 derivative of x square plus 9 derivative of x plus derivative of 6. Now this is 4. What we apply here? xn 3x3 minus 1 7. Here 2x 2 minus 1. This is x power 1. कल्ले x ਦਾ डेरिवेटिव 1 ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਅਸੀਂ ਦਿਖਾ ਵੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਪਾਵਰ 1 ਹੈ. 1x 1 minus 1. Constant ਆ, ਇਹਦਾ डेरिवेटिव 0 ਹੋਏਗਾ. Then this is 12x square 14x plus 1 minus 1 मतलब x0 और x0 की ਹੁੰਦਾ 1 plus 9. So this is the derivative of this term. Okay, then again this is first question. Second one, y is equal to 1 upon under root x. You have to differentiate this. Then how you differentiate? You like it like this, 1 by x minus 1 by 2, because this is 1 by 2 means 1 upon under root x means 1 upon x 1 by 2, and this can be written like this. Again you apply the formula dy upon dx minus 1 by 2 x minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, this is minus 3 by 2. Leave here, or you can write minus 1 upon 2x 3 by 2. This can be written like this. Okay, and the next example that we have the next example, that is y is equal to x power 5 upon 2 minus 5 upon x square. Then how we differentiate this question? How we differentiate? For you doing this, two terms, dy upon dx derivative of x 5 by 2 minus derivative of 5 by x square. So this is the constant again, half derivative of x5 minus 5 derivative of minus 2. So half 5 minus 1 minus 5 minus 2x minus 2 minus 1. And the next is, this is 5 by 2 x4 minus minus plus 10x minus 3, or you can write like this, 5 by 2 x4 10 upon x cube. This is called the derivative. And if we have one more example, y is 1 upon x plus 3. How to differentiate it? Again, the same method. This may be x plus 3 minus 1. Now this is not a single x. This is called a u. Then how we differentiate it? dy upon d. Okay class, let's do the more examples for the differentiation rule. And the first is y is equal to 1 upon x square plus 3. To differentiate it, x square plus 3 minus 1. We use the formula un, and its derivative is dy upon dx nu n minus 1 du upon dx. So dy upon dx, this one, how we do this? Minus 1 x square 3 minus 1 derivative of x square plus 3. So minus x square plus 3 minus 2. Now the derivative of x square and 3. And for x square, xn, that is nxn minus 1, and this is constant. And for constant, the derivative is 0. So how we write here? 2x 2 minus 1 plus 0, और नहीं भी लिखना तो ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਛੱਡ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। So minus 2x x square plus 3 minus 2, or minus 2x upon x square plus 3 is the answer of this question. Okay, then we have, this is the example for x u n power. Or differentiation means to split the terms. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੋੜੀ ਚੱਲੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਉਹ split ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, that is called the differentiation. Let's do some more question. Next we have the rule y is equal to uv. This is derivative dy by dx, first derivative of second plus second derivative of first. Let's take the example for it, that we have y is equal to, let's say, x square plus 3 into x4 minus 8. Now these are the two terms. This is u term and this is v term, and they both are the function of x. So we use this rule to differentiate it. How we write? dy upon dx, x derivative of y plus y derivative of x. Then x square plus 3. For this x4, we again use the formula xn, that is nxn minus 1. So how we write? 4x 4 minus 1. 8 is again constant, and for constant the derivative is again 0. Plus x4 minus 8, again the same xn formula, 2x 2 minus 1 again. X square plus 3, 4x cube plus x4 minus 8 2x. Now this is 4x5 12x cube plus 2x5 minus 16x, and it is 6x5 12x cube minus 16x. This is the differentiation of this term, that is this one, square plus 3 4 minus 8. This is product formula and we use it so many times for the derivation of various terms. Now we have the next one, that is division formula. Division formula, the formula used for this, that is y is equal to v upon u, numerator denominator, जो नीचे आओ denominator, जो ऊपर आओ numerator. And when we differentiate it, we have, first we differentiate the numerator. In the last जो product वाला formula, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਟਰਮ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, u derivative of v plus v derivative of u, ਜਾਂ reverse ਕਰਕੇ. But in this case we don't write the reverse form because we have the negative sign in this formula. How we write this formula? U derivative of v minus v derivative of u upon u square. Then how we write this? How we use this? We have the simple example. Let's we have the example 9x3 upon x square plus 2. Now these are the two terms. This is v term and this is u term. To differentiate we use this formula, dy upon dx x square plus 2 derivative of 9x cube minus 9x cube derivative of x square plus 2 upon x square plus 2 the whole square, and the x square plus 2, now derivative of this 9 constant, we should have to differentiate this x cube. Again we apply the formula xn nxn minus 1. This is the general form of this equations. Now we have 3x 3 minus 1 minus 9x cube, again xn formula, 2x 2 minus 1. This is constant, no need to read the derivative because the constant have a zero derivative. And here x square plus 2 whole square. Then x square plus 2, this is 9, 3x square minus 9x cube 2x upon x square plus 2 whole square. And we have 27 x square plus 2 27x square minus 18x4 upon x square plus 2 whole square. And when you multiply this 27x4, this is 50, we write here it, here 27x4 plus 54 x square 18x4 and x square plus 2 whole square. And you explain minus करके जो आंसर है वो लिख सकते हैं आप. 27 minus 18 जो भी आंसर आएगा us use the differentiation. So this is by using the division rule. Okay, now in this we have the basic rules: constant derivative 0, product rule, x the power n rule, and u the power n rule, and this division rule. Now in physics, when we start our next course, that is the motion or dynamics of this, dynamics, motion, dynamics, kinematics, we write this is displacement s. ut plus half at square. You have this equation of motion in 9th class. This is velocity. Now this is the derivative of distance with respect to time. Because here distance is the function of t. U and a are constant. S is not the function of u and a. S is the function of t. And we have to differentiate it with respect to t. Then how we differentiate? How we write? U derivative of t plus half a derivative with respect to t, t square. This is again t, क्योंकि x the derivative 1c, the t the derivative भी 1 होएगा with respect to t, u plus half a 2t 2 minus 1. So this 2 cancel, u plus at, and this become the velocity. Now in next step, we have the acceleration. That is the derivative of velocity. Now here v is a function of t because the t is variable, not the u and a. If we differentiate, now this u is constant, so derivative is 0. And what about the derivative of t? That is 1, means a. So what is the answer here? A. This is the derivative of this velocity. There is one more question that I have do in that notes. That area is pi r square. And you have to find the rate of change of area with respect to radius. With respect to radius means we have to calculate the derivative with respect to radius. dA upon dr. So pi is a constant. Here we have r square. Again the xn formula, that is 2r 2 minus 1 pi 2r, and what is the answer? 2 pi r. That is the rate of differentiation of dA upon dr. So we are discussing all the theorems like that we have given in the notes, that the theorems for the differentiation. Now for the next one, we have the formula differential coefficient for the trigonometric functions also. Trigonometric functions. Trigonometric functions, that is sine, t ratio, sine, cos, tan, cosecant, secant, cot. But in physics we are dealing only with the sine, cos and tan. So you have to remember the derivative. Y is equal to sine x. Derivative of sine x is cos x. You have to remember. What is the derivative of sine? Cos x. And if this is sine u, and u is again the function of x, then how we write the derivative with respect to x? Cos u derivative of u. Similarly, this is one. Second is y is cos x, and the derivative of cos x is minus sine x. ये remember करना, याद करना. Y is equal to cos u, and the derivative of this is minus sine u derivative of u. And the third is y is equal to tan x, and the derivative of tan x, derivative of tan x is secant square x, and y is tan u. Then how you differentiate? Derivative of this is a secant square u and differentiation of u. So in so many other formulas, because it is a vast concept, differentiation, but we use only that we have to applicable in our physics. That is 1, 2. Y sine, sine the derivative cos, cos the derivative minus sine, or tan the derivative secant square x. But we preferably use these two terms. So remember these. Last वाले जेडे formula क्या formula? Sine the derivative cos, cos the derivative की होएगा minus sine. So let's do the examples for this. Now we have the example. Y is equal to sine 2x. Now this is not x. This is 2x, means sine u, and its derivative is cos u du upon dx, means dy upon dx is cos 2x derivative of 2x, and x ਦਾ ਡੈਰੀਵੇਟਿਵ 1 ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ 2x ਦਾ ਡੈਰੀਵੇਟਿਵ ਲੈਣਾ, ਮੈਂ 2 ਇਹਦਾ ਡੈਰੀਵੇਟਿਵ ਲਵਾਂ, ਇਹ 1 ਆ ਤਾਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੀ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ 2, ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਿੰਪਲੀ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖੂ 2x ਦਾ ਡੈਰੀਵੇਟਿਵ 2, 5x ਦਾ ਡੈਰੀਵੇਟਿਵ 5, ax ਦਾ ਡੈਰੀਵੇਟਿਵ with respect to x is a. So here I have 2. So 2 is cos 2x2. ਇਹ 2 ਨੂੰ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਲਟੀਪਲਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਅਲੱਗ ਇਹਦਾ ਥੀਟਾ ਐਂਗਲ ਆ, ਇਹ 2 ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਲਟੀਪਲਾਈ ਹੋਣਾ। You have to write this 2 cos 2x. This is the correct answer 2 cos 2x. ਇਹਦਾ ਆਨਸਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੋ ਵੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਆਨਸਰ ਅਸੀਂ cos 4x ਕਰ ਦਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਗਲਤ ਆਨਸਰ ਹੈ। This is the wrong answer. Okay, and the other formulas again same other formula. class. The next is the integration. Integration, next mathematical tool. Integration. That is the reverse of differentiation. Reverse of differentiation means differentiation the opposite. In differentiation we do the derivative of the terms. ਅਸੀਂ terms ਨੂੰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਵਰ ਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਪਾਂ dissociate ਕਰਦੇ ਗਏ. Integration is reverse means add करना, addition करना. In lower classes you are studied about this sign that is called summation. Terms the summation. Now to modify this term, this summation sign, we use the integral sign in integral calculus. That is integration. Terms nu add karna. Where in physics, when we dealing with the definite quantities like the fixed force, constant force, we have calculated the work done for that. Then we have the formula, simple formula that you have studied in the 9th class, force into displacement. But when we are in +1 syllabus and the force in practical, the force is not constant always, it is variable. For this variable forces, for the small forces, we have calculate the work done for the small terms. Then we add them and by using this calculus method that is called the integral calculus. It is again the part of mathematics in +2 class, but in physics we use only the basic concepts of the integration or integral parts. So we have the some formulas for integration. That is, first is very important term. First, इंटीग्रेशन सिर्फ उसे टर्म दी होएगी जिदे पिछे डेरिवेटिव फॉर्म पई होएगी. सिंगल टर्म नु तुसी इंटीग्रेट नहीं कर सकते. लाइक दिस, dx दी इंटीग्रेशन होएगी x, dt दी इंटीग्रेशन होएगी t, dm दी इंटीग्रेशन होएगी m. Like this. So this is the first term dx, and the second one, that is xn dx. In derivative, what we do in derivative, when we take it derivative, we say nxn minus 1. This term is decreasing, n minus 1, but here we have the reverse term. How we write this formula? For integration, n plus 1, n plus 1, x, n plus 1, n plus 1. And in mathematics, we also write the constant of integration. This is mathematical term. But in physics, we don't use this constant of integration. We just write x n plus 1, n plus 1. So, dx is x, dt t, because डेरिवेटिव ऑफ कांस्टेंट इज 0 और जे वही कांस्टेंट दी इंटीग्रेशन आ तो किसे टर्म च ते लिखनी पएगी. दैट इज रिटन एज अ कांस्टेंट ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन. सो द बेसिक दैट यू हैव टू read, you have to remember for the physics is this one and this x n plus 1 n plus 1. Then we have the reverse form, that is 1 by x dx. This is log ex. The integration of 1 by x dx is log ex, because the derivative of log is 1 by x. Okay, and ex dx is ex. Exponential term एक इस तरह दिया जिधर डेरिवेटिव भी ex और जिधर इंटीग्रेशन भी की होएगी ex ही होएगी. Okay, then we have very basic use that we use u. मतलब जे u the derivative find out करना तो ਅਸੀਂ किवें find out कीता सी. y is un, dy upon dx is n un minus 1 du upon dx. Again, if we have un dx and u is a function of x, then how we integrate it? This is u n plus 1 n plus 1, but take its derivative in the denominator. This is the rule. Basic is xn dx n plus 1 n plus 1. But if the term is complicated, but it's the function of x ਜਿਹਦੇ with respect ਅਸੀਂ integrate ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, तो ਉਹਦਾ derivative ਲੈਣਾ और उस derivative ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਚ ਰੱਖਣਾ, denominator ਚ ਰੱਖਣਾ. Okay, clear? Like EAX dx. So EAX derivative of AX, that is A. So EAX upon A. This is the integration. Again we use the rules. Okay, these are basic rules. And if we have the terms, then how we integrate? Separate rule. dx जिवें डेरिवेटिव सेपरेटली करते सी उवें इंटीग्रेशन भी की करनी आ, सेपरेटली ही करनी, सेपरेटली. सो dx इंटीग्रेशन x 1 by x log x or xn n plus 1 n plus 1. And if we have the term u in any form, if we have the u, then we take the derivative of u in the denominator by applying the integration rule. Okay, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਾਰਮੂਲੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਨਾਲ. Then we have sin x and cos x. Sin x dx minus cos x integration minus cos x and cos x dx sin x. But about derivative of sin x is cos x and derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So it is the reverse. Integration of sin x minus cos x, integration of cos x is a sin x. Or if we again have sin u dx, then minus cos u derivative of u. And if cos u dx, sin u derivative of u. These are the terms. But here we don't use the product or divisions formula. For that we have the different methods of integration. That's not the part of our syllabus. And if we have the constant, so that constant must be outside from the integral part and we do the integrations. Okay, so these are the basic formulas. Now how we use these formulas? First example is x cube dx integration. Formula xn dx n plus 1 n plus 1 3 plus 1 3 plus 1 4 by 4 x 4 by 4. This is the answer. Second, integration for x square plus 1 by x dx. या तो इस तरह लिखा होएगा या लिखा होएगा integrate the term with respect to x square 1x. मतलब this is the form of question. Integrate the term with respect to x. Which term? This one. So what's the first step to do this, to solve this? The first step is write this in this form. You write integral x square plus x dx. Now the two terms. So x square dx 1 by x dx. Here xn formula 2 plus 1 2 plus 1 and this is the Simple formula, log ex. So x cube by 3 plus log ex. This is the answer for this question. Next you have third example, x plus x minus 1 by x square. Now how you integrate it? X minus 1 by x square. The first step is integral dx. Now we have the method un, but simply you solve this. A square b square minus 2ab, matlab 2, x into 1 by x means 2 dx. Then x square dx 1 upon x square dx minus 2 dx. Then x square dx minus 2 dx minus 2 dx, the integration x. 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1 minus 2x. Then what is the answer? X cube by 3 minus, this is minus 1 upon x. Minus 2 plus 1 is minus x, minus 2x. So this is the integration for this term. And we have the one more example. One more example is integral 4e 5x dx. Then 4 e 5x dx. 4 5x upon derivative of 5x. Formula लगाता मैं eul. Then 4 e 5x the derivative 5. So I have the answer 4 by 5 e 5x. So these are the some examples for the simple formulae for the integration. Then come to the examples of trigonometries. In trigonometry, we have the integration of sinus minus cos, and cos is a sine. Then we have the question, that is integral sine 5x plus cos 4x dx. Then we write sine 5x dx plus cos 4x dx. Now it is u form. U form to solve karna. Minus cos 5x derivative of 5x. Sine 4x derivative of 4x. 5, 1 by 5 cos 5x minus plus 1 by 4 sine 4x is the answer of this question. Okay, so these are the questions. And one more thing, we have this term, that is, this is first example for sine, second example for trigonometry, x square sine x dx. Then x square dx plus sine x dx. 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1. Sine the integration minus cos x. So x cube upon 3 minus cos x be the answer of this question. That is the integration terms that we use in the trigonometric functions. Okay ji, clear? Then we have, this is called the indefinite integral, where we don't have the limits, but there is another term which is called definite integral. Definite integral means where we give the limits to the integration. Limits, that is x square dx 1, 2. Limits, this is called lower limit and this is called upper limit, and the whole is called definite integral. Then how we calculate this? 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 1, 2, 1 by 3, x3, 1, 2. So here first we put the upper limit, then we put the lower limit, that is in x 2 cube minus in x 1 cube. So 1 by 3, 8 minus 1, 7 by 3. We get the full answer, that is called the definite integral. We preferably use this method in physics, that is definite integral. Let's have an example for physics method for the definite integration. mv dv u to v. Now here we have the term mass, velocity, differential of velocity. We integrate the terms whose derivative is present. So mv dv uv. What we formulas? xn dx n plus 1 n plus 1. So here v 1 plus 1 1 plus 1 u to v, m by 2 v square u to v. So first in v I apply the upper limit v square, then v I apply the lower limit u square. So it becomes half mv square half mu square. This is the work energy theorem that we studied in the chapter number 4. Okay, then we again have the term where we use this definite integral, that is sine x dx minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Now how we solve this? First we solve the term sin x, and sin x derivative is minus cos x minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, minus cos x, then minus cos. I apply the upper limit in place of x, pi by 2, minus cos minus pi by 2. I apply the term minus cos minus pi by 2. This cos minus theta is cos theta. Then this is pi by 2, cos 90, and its answer is become the 0. So this integration of sin x within the limit of this minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2 is a 0. Okay, and then we have the last example. Last example is, this is more important than indefinite integral. gmm x square dx. We use this formula, this term so many times in gravitation form, and here it is 0 to r. Limits ਜਿਹਦਾ derivative ਜਿਹਦੀ integration ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ gmm 0 to r minus 2 dx gmm minus 2 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1. And this is not 0, this is infinity. That is infinity to r. Minus 2 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1. Then this minus x minus 1 infinity to r gmm 1 by x infinity to r. Then we write mm first limit upper limit minus lower limit, and 1 by infinity is 0. So what we got? gmm upon r, minus gmm upon r. So this is the integration for this term within the limit of infinity to r. Okay, thank you.